Bayan, hanggang sa ngayon po ang Pilipinas ay kinukonsidera po bilang isang republic and democratic state. Pero alam naman po natin na gusto po ni Pangulong Duterte na magkaroon ng pagbabago po sa forma ng gobyerno. From a republic and democratic state, gawin pong isang federal state ang Pilipinas.
Kaya naman ngayong umaga pag-uusapan natin kung ano nga ba ang pederalismo at ano ba magiging epekto nito, hindi lamang sa buong bansa kundi maging sa bawat mamamayang Pilipino. Kaya ngayong umaga po, makapanayam natin ang dating Executive Director ng PDP Laban Federalism Institute at ang newly appointed Assistant Secretary ng Department of the Interior and Local Government, walang iba kundi si Asek Jonathan Malaya.
Welcome to Bagong Pilipinas!
Good morning! Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas and
Merry
better
Christmas.
late than never. Congratulations!
Thank
Kayo
you.
po ay new Asek ng
Pasko na dito ngayon sa inyo.
Alright. Asek, as we understand, meron ng sinumiting draft charter adopting federalism sa House of Representatives. Can you tell us please the important component of this charter, Asek?
Yes, kasi nung when I was with the Federalism Institute, as a matter of fact, I'm still there, no? Wala pa akong kapalit. One of the things na inutos ni Senate President Coco Pimentel as president of the party is for PDP Laban to have its own draft constitution. So minadali namin yung ginawa namin yon at nung ready na kami, nagkataon naman nagpatawag ang Kongreso. That was the time when Speaker Alvarez said na simulan na natin yung pag-delibera sa Kongreso kung ano ba talaga yung magandang model of federalism for our country. So nagsumiti kami to the House Committee on Constitutional Amendments, yung mga panukala, no? Essentially, yung sinubmit namin to Congress was to change the system of government from a unitary to a federal system. 11 regions will comprise this as proposed by Senator Nene Pimentel. And then we also proposed changes in the executive branch. We're proposing a semi-presidential system of government. So it's a semi-presidential federal system of government.
So ano main difference nun, Asek, from being the presidential system right now as to the semi-presidential system? Ano yung main difference?
Ganito kasi yan, no? Matagal na pinag-uusapan tong parliamentary system, no? Panahon pa nung actually, panahon pa ni Aguinaldo, pinag-uusapan yung federal parliamentary yan, no? And a lot of the sectors in the country are pushing for a change, no? Ang pinakakaibahan, a semi-presidential system has a president, no? Elected nationwide, pero yung powers niya are limited compared to the president right now. Primarily, he will be responsible for national defense and foreign affairs. And all the other tasks will be transferred to the Prime Minister. You know, the Prime Minister has to be a member of Parliament. Ang proposal namin is, from the present Congress of the Philippines, we will transform it into a parliamentary system. So, pag parliamentary system na tayo, Parliament will have two houses, the Senate and the lower house. And the lower house will be called a Federal Assembly.
Okay. So para legislative yung parliamentary talaga natin?
Yes.
Yun yung pinaka-focus nila?
Yes,
Okay.
pero ang difference kasi with the presidential and a parliamentary system is yung, as you mentioned, parliamentary system, magko-fusion yung executive and legislative functions. So it will now be the Prime Minister who is from Parliament who will exercise executive functions. And the cabinet, majority of which will come from the members of Parliament. So will be assemblymen, quote-unquote, except doon sa areas of foreign affairs and national defense, which will be retained in the President.
Okay, para bang masasabi natin, mas makapangyarihan yung Prime Minister dun sa Presidente under this charter?
Not
Asek,
necessarily, kasi the reason why we're proposing this is because under our present system kasi, yung ating Pangulo, and mismong si Pangulong Duterte nagsasabi na ang ating sistema is meron tayong parang hari sa Malacanang. Lahat ng problema ng Pilipinas, isang tao lang ang, isa lang talaga yung pinaka-concern, it's the President. No? Nitong huli, si Pangulo humingi pa ng paumanhin sa MRT.
Yeah.
No? MRT, maute, drugs, criminality, any problem is the President's problem. Ang konsepto natin dito sa semi-presidential, we disperse the burden of government. Kawawa naman yung kaisa-isang tao lang. So we disperse the burden of government. We will have another person to help him, which is the Prime Minister, and we will have regional governors or chief ministers so that the burden of governance is spread out. Mas madaming tao nagtutulungan para umusad ang ating bansa.
Okay. Hugutin ko po doon, Asek, no? Since nabanggit nyo na pa yung mga regions, states na po ba tawag sa regions ba?
Medyo ano kasi kami sa word na state. Kasi ang state kasi has a connotation of sovereignty. No?
Okay.
And we do not want the federal or the federal campaign na lumabas na we're giving sovereignty to 11 states na maya-maya magkabitak-bitak ng ating bansa. So we're very careful about nomenclature or wordings. We'd rather call them as regions.
Regions pa rin.
Unang-una, we're building on what is existing. May regions na tayo eh.
Yes.
Palalaguin lang natin yung mga regions natin. At the same time, yung word na region, walang connotation of sovereignty yun. So we're going to have 11 regions with their governments as well, para may katuwang yung Pangulo in governing our country.
Okay, sabi niyo the president is still to be elected by the people.
Yeah.
How about the term? Ganun pa rin po ba yung kanyang term of administration? Pwede bang i-re-elect?
Yes, ang proposal namin kailangan re-elected ang presidente. Kasi kung wala siyang walang re-election, wala siyang he has to be made accountable for his actions in his previous term. Sa ngayon kasi walang incentive for him to perform kasi he's not out for re-election anyway. So, yung ginawa natin in the 87 Constitution na 6 years, masyadong mahaba naman, where we plan to shorten it to 5 years with re-election.
Okay.
So that we can have a president for 10 years.
Okay.
Pero may re-election siya.
So twice lang pwede ma-elect.
Yes,
elect
yes,
if ever.
twice
And
lang.
the VP, wala na po ito sa position sa charter natin?
Well, in a parliamentary system kasi, which is essentially what a semi-presidential system is. Iba lang yung wording, no?
Yes.
Because may presidente siya. In a parliamentary system kasi normally wala ng vice president. Kasi succession can happen immediately.
Yes. Humuting mo doon. Kasi diba, usually ang mga parliamentary system, yung party system nila mismo, medyo mas malinaw siya. So, possibly ba, ASEC, na matulad yung party system natin, yung sistema ng Amerika ngayon na malinaw na may Republican, merong Democratic.
But bago kong sagutin yan, Brad, sagutin ko lang yung tungkol sa vice president.
Okay.
But if the Filipino people kasi want to retain it, kasi it's been there since 1898 or noong panahon ni Aguinaldo, meron tayong vice president, we can retain. Pwede naman as a spare tire to the president. Kasi yun naman talaga yung konsepto ng vice president. But we propose na yung presidente and vice president should be elected in tandem, ticket.
Okay.
Yun nga.
Oo.
So
Para
parang
sa ibang
Trump and
bansa.
Pence.
Parang
ganun.
Trump and
Okay.
Pence. So we propose that. And number 2, we should give the vice president some work. Kasi Sara de grade 32 yata yung vice president natin, wala naman talagang trabaho unless given by the president. So our proposal is to follow the US model wherein the vice president becomes the presiding officer of the Senate.
Tama nga naman.
Para may trabaho siya talaga. Okay? Now, on the question, sorry, yung
Yung party system.
party
po.
system. Importante ang strong political party system. That is why we do not propose a pure parliamentary.
Okay.
Kasi with a pure parliamentary, you have to have strong and cohesive political parties. Alam naman natin ang sistema sa ating bansa na palipat-lipat ng partido ang mga politiko natin. So ang proposal namin is, in the Constitution itself, we should put there provisions on political parties. Wala kasi tayo nun eh.
Yes, yes.
Unlike in Germany, they have that. Our proposal is, we put there anti-political turncoatism. Bawal yung palipat-lipat ng mga
Maganda yan.
yeah.
Bawal na yung mga balimbing.
Bawal
ganun.
na yung mga balimbing.
Okay.
We're not saying na hindi sila pwedeng lumipat, no?
Yeah.
We're saying 1 year before the election and 1 year after the election, hindi sila pwedeng lumipat.
Stay there.
Okay.
Para hindi sila nag-aantay na sino kaya malakas, sino kaya ang mananalo, at tapos pag nanalo na, lipat na maglilipatan. They can only transfer within the period na wala doon sa prohibition. During the middle of the term, pwede silang lumipat. And our second proposal is, as practiced in many of the mature democracies in the world, kailangan merong government subsidy to political parties. Kasi ngayon, ang mga politiko, they run on the basis of support from businessmen and oligarchs.
And yung interest usually hinihingi pabalik.
At humihigi ng pabor eventually. Hindi gaya ni pero sa Pangulong Duterte walang ganon.
Yes, yes.
Kasi wala naman siyang tinanggap. So pwede siyang mangolekta kay Lusyutan or kay Mighty Corporation because wala siyang pagkakautang. We should have a system wherein government will subsidize the operations of political parties so that yung influence ng mga oligarchs will be lessened in Philippine
Okay.
society.
ASEC, what to look forward? What are the next steps sa pag-approve ba nitong draft na ito? At paano ito maisa sa katuparan?
Yes, kasi alam mo, this is a fundamental change in our way of life, no? It's our system of government. So hindi mo talaga pwedeng madaliin. Doon sa mga supporters sa Pangulo na nagmamamadali, hindi mo talaga pwedeng. As mentioned by the President himself yesterday, mahaba ang proseso ng changing the Constitution. And since it affects everyone, hindi mo pwede itong i-rush. And we have to do it correctly kasi baka magkamali tayo.
Yes.
You know, the features of that has to be studied. Ang maganda is Congress has begun deliberation, the lower house, and hopefully the Senate will do the same. para masimulan na yung pag-uusap. It did not be approved immediately. Ang importante is the national discussion na started para makagawa tayo ng magandang federal system for our country.
Nako, Asek, balik kayo dito. Marami
Yes.
tayong pag-uusapan about this. Kasi kailangan ma-inform lahat about
Yeah.
federalism.
Correct. At mas malalim na diskusyon at dapat constant yung discussions
Yes.
para ma-involve din yung ating taong bayan. Kasi
Yes, sir.
malaking shift ito at kailangan malaman talaga natin yung benepisyo.
Well,
ng
actually, yun ang
pagbabago ng
tungkulin
forma
namin sa
nito.
DILG. That's our task to inform the people and the public about
Okay.
the possible changes in the form of government.
Thank you
Thank you.
very much for joining us today.
Thank
Please
you.
welcome back here sa morning
Thank you,
show.
thank you.
Asek Jonathan Malaya mula po sa Department of the Interior Local Government.